Hey, this is Kevin Allen from the Kevin Allen Show. We're remote here down at CPAC 2023 in the Washington, D.C. area. Of course, it is a lot of energy in the room, a lot of candidates. We're hearing great speeches on the main stage. And there's a lot of great people that are attending this event, talking about their own stories and journeys, and for good reasons, because a lot of laws or bad laws on the books affect the people. And in fact, right now we are here with Nikki Goeser. And Nikki Goeser's story is one that is going to impact most anyone who is on the side of good versus evil. And of course, we are at the GOUSA OppScore tent right here on Media Row. Nikki, you gave me the book. We talked a little bit in the beginning. Let's tell everyone exactly how this story starts. 9 years ago?
This was actually 13 years ago. My husband, Ben, was murdered right in front of me by a man who was stalking me. And this occurred in Nashville, Tennessee, inside of a very busy restaurant that was a gun-free zone. And I had my handgun carry permit, but I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I followed the law and left my legal handgun that I normally carried for self-defense locked inside of my vehicle that night. The man who was stalking me did not have a permit to carry, brought a gun in illegally into a gun-free zone, and I had asked management, please help me, this man is stalking me, can you please get him out of here? They went and confronted him and asked him to please leave, and he pulled a .45 from a shoulder holster under his jacket and shot Ben 7 times in front of everyone. I will probably wonder for the rest of my life if I could have prevented that. Of course, I'll never know because I was denied a chance. I was stalked and defenseless.
So this tragic story, obviously, it's probably like it's yesterday. Today, I'm sure you don't get over the numbness to that. We hope that, God is surrounding you and supporting you along the way. I know Jesus is, fighting for us all. And I certainly understand, though, dealing with this subject now that you've written a book and you're sharing your story. It's also been on some major covered on networks. Are you getting feedback from people, you sharing the story about your fight as a widowed wife because of bad laws, and you're looking to actually put the rights of the people back in their hands with weapons, no more gun-free zones? Is that right?
That's correct. I have tried for the past 13 years to educate people as best I can about the dangers of gun-free zones, because they leave good law-abiding people helpless. And time again we see in the news where there have been these horrible mass public shootings, but what the mainstream media fails to tell the public is 94% of these mass public shootings occur in gun-free zones, where the bad guy is the only one armed and no one is armed there that's a good guy that can possibly stop them.
It doesn't make sense, because common sense would prevail. If the crime rates are high, you're in a gun-free zone, something's not working, and it's not the honest, hard-working people that want to exercise their rights. Let me go back to when this took place. What was the experience with government, with the local establishment, the lawmakers, when this happened to your husband, to you, ruined your life because of bad laws and policies? You addressed them, didn't you?
Yes, I actually worked with a legislator at the time. I guess you would call him a blue dog Democrat. He was a very pro-gun Democrat senator, Doug Jackson, and he sponsored the restaurant carry bill. And that law has now changed in Tennessee. As long as you can legally own a gun, you can carry into a restaurant. If they serve alcohol, you are just not allowed to drink any alcohol.
No drinking and using firearms, which is common sense. In Connecticut, where I'm at, that's the same law. It makes sense. Now, when you had to go fight for that, did it get frustrating, understanding that if this law was on the books, like you said earlier, the what if, you could have? Did you ever want to just scream at the top of your lungs at these legislators, these policymakers, and say, look what you did to me because of your social wokeness?
I think initially, yes, that was the initial reaction, but you kind of rein that in and realize that in order to get anything done, you need to be diplomatic and you need to kind of get control of your emotions if you want to help make change. And that's what I would tell anyone watching, is that anyone can do this. Anyone can stand up and make change. Email your legislators, call them, get involved in grassroots organizations. gun rights organizations, and you can make a difference.
So the book you wrote how long ago?
This just came out in 2019, and I've had some success with it. I was on Fox News, Fox and Friends, the Tucker Carlson show. Investigation Discovery Channel came out with an episode based on my book. It's Obsession, Dark Desires, Season 1, Episode 7. It's called Serenade of a Stalker.
Amazing. And I feel like there's more ahead for you. Like, I don't know what it is. You're an activist. Would you not say that you're an activist?
I like to tell people I'm a victims' rights advocate. I want good law-abiding people to be able to protect themselves, and I want better laws to make that possible. And I also want better laws for people who have already been victimized, like myself. I want to see laws where prisons are not this continuous revolving door for violent offenders. It's hurting all of us when these people are let out. And my stalker is actually being let out of prison in 2028. Yeah, and he's being released early for good behavior, early release credits. But this man has been stalking me from prison. He's been sending twisted love letters for years. The feds charged him with federal stalking. He's going to get 1 additional year in prison, but he's still coming out, and it's terrifying. This should not be happening in this country.
It's almost like a form of torture, and the system is allowing him to torture you right now. There's something wrong when a convicted murderer, and I know that we got to speak. Jesus and God tells us to speak, right, to all. But there's still something here that's wrong. He continues to be sick and try to affect you. And you report it to the authorities, and they're working on it. He gets an extra year, but then he gets out in 2029.
Yeah.
And so
that'll be here before I know it.
Yeah, blink of your eyes. And I'm not trying to over-dramatize this. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very nervous and concerned for my safety. Not only for my safety, I think this guy could harm others as well. And, I helped Tennessee get a new law passed last year, the Lifetime Order of Protection. And I know a lot of people say, well, it's just a piece of paper. And I absolutely agree. It is just a piece of paper. However, I still feel like it's important to have on record. And for a convicted violent offender, we're talking murder, rape, assault, and they're convicted, the victim of their crime can petition for a lifetime order of protection. It has to go before a judge. I was actually the first Tennessean to be granted the lifetime order of protection. But I tell people, it is just a piece of paper. Always have a backup plan. And I believe the best backup plan is to go get professional firearms training, learn situational awareness, practice, carry a gun legally for your own self-defense and the defense of your loved ones, because you just never know. I don't want people to be paranoid, but I do want them to be prepared, because unfortunately evil is out there.
Nikki, I appreciate you sharing your story here. The GOUSA platform, the OppScore system that was created is for scoring politicians on their policies. For example, in Connecticut, there's a very famous senator named Chris Murphy. He is the probably most noted for removing school resource officers from schools that were armed in certain parts of the country. Children, they're the ones that are affected the most by this, and I think we all fight. I think everyone in our way for them. How much do you fear how much gun control almost be made an issue? Almost you have to wonder, all these shootings and all the things that go on. I'm not saying they didn't happen, but it seems a little bit too coincidental that it's always in these liberal communities and they do nothing about it.
Yeah, it's so frustrating because it's just a vicious circle. It really is. I think we all want to stop these horrible things from happening. We just don't necessarily agree on how to get it done. And, I guess there are some people that think each side is evil, whatever. I would like for us to work together to resolve this issue. But I don't believe that taking guns away from good people makes good people safe. That actually makes us more vulnerable because, believe me, the bad guys are going to have them.
They do have them. They're going to continue to have them. And you also can go out and get this book. Just dropped if you'd like to. Where can they go and find you for the Stalked and Defenseless right here? Where can they find the book?
Sure, you can find my book at Amazon and Barnes & Noble online.
There you go. Thank you, Nikki, so much. Guys, we'll be back right here from CPAC 2023, the Washington, D.C. area, and we are at the GOUSA OppScore booth right here on Media Row. Back in a moment.